Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to my replay viewers. How y'all doing today? This is day 11 of my 30-day Facebook challenge. Who wants to join me on the challenge? Put a comment down below so I can tag you to join in on this Facebook challenge. All right, let's get started. Let me turn down Miss Yolanda. I love to listen to her. So today I'm going to be reading out of this book that we just finished in a book club. Stephen Furtick, Do the New You. So I'm just going to jump into, let's see what chapter is this. Chapter 3 on page 39. Just going to read a couple of pages here, and I think we need to add another sentence to that motivational phrase. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. That's deep. But if you agree with God about your potential, you get to grow into it. Let me read that again. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. But if you agree with God about your potential, you get to grow into it. What potential? The potential God sees in you. The doors He is opening for you. The gifts and calling He is drawing out of you. So if God says you can change, you can change. If He says you can help somebody, then you can help somebody. If he says He put something in you, then He can call it out of you. Thanks for joining. Reading out of this book. Feel free to drop the city and state that you're in. Is your limitation shouting louder than your potential? Because you won't move past it until you see past it. And the crazy thing is, I was looking at a video earlier with some young ladies on it, and they were talking about limitations. So this is odd, and they weren't reading out of a book like I am, so this must be on point today. Is your limitation shouting louder than your potential? Because you won't move past it until you can see past it. Hey, Simone, how you doing, Florida? I saw a young lady last night, and I was introducing myself, and I said, where are you from? She said, Florida. I'm like, why does everybody in Florida always say Florida? Y'all never say the city. So see, I'm from Memphis. I probably would never say, oh, I'm from Tennessee. I say Memphis. So that's funny. Everybody in Florida says, oh, I'm from Florida. I'm like, yeah, that's a long state. But I get it. Welcome. Thank you. I'm reading out of this book. If your limitation is your limitation shouting louder than your potential? Because you won't move past it until you see past it. You'll settle for the status quo. You'll argue for your limitations. You'll advocate for the very things that hold you back because you can't visualize a future where you are free from them. Okay. You have to catch a vision of the version of you that God sees, because that vision will pull you out of what you're stuck in and propel you toward what you were created for. Once you agree with God about what He sees in you and what He says about you, you'll stop fighting. You'll stop fighting your future. Yeah. Hey, Gloria, how are you? I enjoy your lives too, Gloria. You gave us a word the other day. As I mentioned already, fear of failure is one of the biggest motivations behind our arguments. Yeah. A lot of us do have fear of failure. Like, what if I put all this work into this project? I'm this age. People have been seeing me, I'm talking to myself, been seeing me do this thing for years. Was successful big time once upon a time. And striving to do that again. So, fear of failure is one of the biggest motivations behind our arguments. I can relate to that. We often defend our status quo because let me turn down Yolanda, because she is really singing in here. We often defend our status quo because we're afraid that if we try to change it, we'll fail. And failure seems like a worse outcome than staying stuck. I remember a stand-up comic who was talking about learning to perform in public. And he said something to the effect of, you got to bomb in order to get good. You've just got to get up, bomb in front of an audience, then realize, oh, that happened and I didn't die. Nobody hunted me down and killed me for it. They moved on and forgot about it. Just like doing these Facebook Lives, you just got to get up and do it in front of whoever shows up. If it's 0 people or 1 person, if you fumble over your words, if you lose your place, if you sound crazy, at least you know you had good intentions behind what you're doing. And my intention is to inspire, make you think about things in a different way, and just become an overall better person. You're already good, why not get better? That's right, Gloria, just do it. That sounds a little depressing, but it's actually encouraging. Fear of failure can be such a loud voice in your head that you never attempt to take the next step. In the moment you face the thing you fear, though, God strengthens you for it. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and do the thing you believe God is calling you to do, even if it bombs once or twice. Then you realize, oh, that wasn't so bad. In all those areas I was freaking out about, God was already at work. I can do this. I can get there. I can be that person I see ahead. I can overcome the obstacle I'm facing. I've got some work to do, but I can't imagine going back to the old me now. And I once heard somebody say, if you're constantly thinking about something, maybe I'm not in real estate, but maybe you're in real estate. You had your license once, the market crashed in '08, you put it down and you never picked it back up again. But every day you're thinking about, man, I need to go study for the license. I need to take it again. I need to do. If that's constantly on your mind or whatever is going on in your life, that's an indication that you need to go on and do it. Because you're just sitting there worrying and year 1 goes by and year 2 go by and year 2, and you could have been finished. So get to it, definitely. Let's see. God was already at work. I can do this. I can get there. I can be the person I see ahead. I can overcome the obstacle I'm facing. I've got some work to do, but I can't imagine going back to the old me now. You have to listen to God's arguments for you, or you'll be persuaded by your own arguments against you every time. You let the devil's lies and the world's labels define you. They can't see the real you, though. Only God can do that. But you have to agree with him. Remember the 12 spies Moses sent into the promised land? They came back saying, we seem like grasshoppers in your own eyes, and we look the same to them. Numbers 13 and 33. They argued for a grasshopper self-image, and this is sad. And they lived a grasshopper existence in the wilderness for the next 40 years. Now, some of you out there are Bible scholars. I don't claim to be a Bible scholar, so I'm going to go back and look up this scripture, Numbers 13 and 13. The following generation had a different mindset, though. At some point, they rejected the way their parents thought about themselves and God. That doesn't mean you were disrespectful, but they drew the lines. They learned. They grew. And when Joshua sent 2 spies to check out the land, they came back with an optimistic report. The Lord has surely given the whole land into our hands. All the people are melting in fear because of us. Joshua 2 and 24. And I'm just going to read a little bit more. The new generation looked at the same land, the same enemies, the same risks, but they had a different mentality. That's how it's all in your mindset. 90% mental, 10% skill, and action. It's 90. I made up that stat. Y'all can Google that. But I think it's 80 or 90% mental. They agreed with God about their potential, and that set them up for growth and victory. The old version of you got you this far, so don't hate it. Just don't defend it when it comes time to change. Your past failures and successes are all part of who you are, but they don't get to decide who you will become. Let me read that again. The old version of you got you this far, so don't hate it. Just don't defend it when it comes time to change. Your past failures and successes are all part of who you are, but they don't get to decide who you will become. Agree with God and commit to progress. Say, all right, God, I don't know if I see myself this way, but you do. You think I have what it takes? and that's why you let me face this situation. You obviously know something about me that I don't. So I'm going to step up. I'm going to rise to the level of your expectations, not sink to the level of my experience. A lot of times we go after things and we think we don't know exactly what to do. We might have mentors. We might have YouTube giving you different suggestions on what to do. Just go ahead and do it. Even though you're not that experienced in it, each day you'll get better and better and better and seek help. So I'm going to rise to the level of your expectations, not sink to the level of my experience. Ask yourself, am I arguing for my limitations or my potential? Am I defending what I've always done or developing what God says I can do? Am I agreeing with my fear or with my future? The future is bright. Whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I see folks in their 80s going back for their doctorate. People in their 70s just starting their fitness journey, and then the next year they're on some kind of stage in the bodybuilding thing. It's never too late to do what you've always wanted to do. It's a choice you make. It's a mindset you put on. You're not stuck unless you stop. So agree with God and grow into your potential. So that is my talk for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow for the next day of my Facebook Live challenge. Don't argue for your limitations. And I'm doing a commercial break at the end of my live. I'm enjoying a refreshing drink from my shop club. I just put it in my water. I think the powder spilled on me. I forgot I had something in here. See, that's what happens when you go live. You do something and you can't take it back. But this is sugar-free, gluten-free. I love it. Fruity flavor. Get hydrated, because if you have family members in the house, you know you have to stay hydrated during the summer, especially after your husband out there. I don't have a husband, but your husband out there cutting grass, or you're out there cutting grass, or your children on track and field preparing to be the next Simone Biles. They need something to hydrate. So this is something, to me, it tastes like Kool-Aid. It's 0 sugar, 0 calories, gluten-free, and it's very inexpensive. So let's see, per 8-ounce serving, it's only a dime. If you compare soda, it's 27 cents for 8 ounces, or fruit juice is about 40 cents for 8 ounces. So this is called Splash H2O. So cheers, I'll take a drink while I'm on here, and y'all have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.